All right, let's pull back the curtain on our modern world, shall we? We're going to look at the hidden machinery, the secret engine that brings every single product you use into existence. Let's get right into it. I mean, really think about it. That phone in your hand, the car you drive, even the chair you're sitting on, they all started as just an idea. So how in the world do they make that incredible leap from a concept into a physical thing you can actually hold? Well, it's not magic, even though it kind of feels like it. It's a whole field called production and operations management. This is the secret sauce. It's the engine that takes all the basic ingredients, we're talking materials, people, and ideas, and turns them into the stuff we use every single day. And it all boils down to a journey of 5 key steps. Now, you might think that journey starts in a factory, right? Nope. It starts by looking into a crystal ball. Or, the next best thing. Before anyone even thinks about building something, they have to figure out what you, the customer, are actually going to want. This is all about forecasting, and it is absolutely critical for 2 big reasons. First, it gives the entire company one single target to aim for. Everyone's on the same page. And second, it buys them the most valuable thing in the universe, time. Time to get the people, the materials, and all the machines ready to go. So how do they actually do it? Well, there are kind of 2 main flavors. Qualitative forecasting is like being a detective. You're gathering clues from experts, from your sales team on the ground, from customer surveys. It's perfect for something brand new where you has no history. Then you've got quantitative forecasting. This is more like being a historian. You're digging into past sales data using all these fancy math models to predict what's going to happen next. Okay, so once a company has a pretty good idea of what they need to make and how much, they've got to design the actual system that's going to build it. This is where they draw up the blueprint for the entire operation. This whole thing kicks off with a massive decision called capacity planning. And all capacity really means is the absolute maximum amount of stuff a system can crank out. Getting this number right, not too high, not too low, is honestly one of the most important calls a company can make. And there's a real method to the madness here. You basically estimate what you're going to need in the future, then you take a hard look at what you can do right now. You figure out ways to close that gap, run the numbers to see what makes financial sense, and then you pick the best path forward. It's all about making sure you can actually build what you plan to sell. But hold on, it's not just about the total amount you can produce. How you physically arrange the factory floor, what they call facility layout, is just as important for being efficient. And you've really got 2 main choices here. A product layout is that classic assembly line you see in movies, perfect for pumping out thousands and thousands of the exact same thing. But a process layout is more like a custom workshop. You group all the similar tools together, like all the drills in one corner, which gives you the flexibility to work on all sorts of different custom jobs. Okay, so the factory is designed, capacity is set. Now it's time to fuel the engine. We need to get the raw materials. This brings us to the world of materials management, and you should really think of this like a beautifully complex dance. It's about making sure the right parts get to the right place at the exact right time, all while spending as little money as possible. And maybe no single idea has changed this game more than just-in-time, or JIT. This was famously pioneered at Toyota, and its philosophy is just brilliant in its simplicity. The goal? Meet customer demand with the absolute minimum delay. The big idea is to stop having piles of materials just sitting around. Instead, you have them arrive precisely when you need them, not a minute sooner. At its heart, JIT is on a mission. It's a waste hunting mission. And we're not just talking about the obvious stuff, like making too much or creating defective products. JIT is obsessed with the hidden waste, like the time people spend just waiting around, or the extra motion it takes to grab a tool, or moving parts from one side of the factory to the other for no good reason. You get rid of all that, and you're left with a super lean, hyper-efficient system. So the big picture is set. The factory is ready. The materials are on their way. Now we zoom in. We're talking about the day-to-day, the real-time choreography of getting the work done. And to get this, you need to understand 2 key ideas that sound similar but are totally different. Scheduling is the big picture. It's like your weekly calendar. It answers who does what and when. But sequencing, that's about the here and now. It answers the question, of all the things I could do right this second, what's next? And that what's next question, that is a huge deal. Answering it efficiently saves a massive amount of time and money. And operations managers have some really clever tools to solve this puzzle. A classic example for a common setup is a surprisingly simple little algorithm called Johnson's rule. Now, it might sound a little technical, but the logic is actually beautiful. You just look at all the tasks for all the jobs you have left, and you find the single shortest one. If that task happens at the first machine, you put that job at the beginning of your sequence. If it's at the second machine, you stick that job at the very end. Then you cross it off the list and do it again. You just keep repeating that, and boom, you get the fastest possible sequence. Pretty cool, right? And finally, we get to the last step. But here's the thing. This one is never actually over. The product is shipped, but the journey continues with a relentless, company-wide quest to always, always get better. A huge piece of this quest is a philosophy called total productive maintenance, or TPM. And the big idea here is that keeping the machines in perfect shape isn't just the maintenance team's job. It's everyone's job. From the CEO down to the person actually running the machine, everyone takes ownership. The entire ambition of this whole philosophy, this entire quest for perfection, can be summed up in just one single powerful number: 0. And that 0 represents the holy grail of manufacturing. It's a vision of a production system that achieves 0 defects in its products, has 0 accidents on the factory floor, and suffers from 0 breakdowns of its machines. It's this vision of total perfection that the best companies are always chasing. So there you have it. From a simple forecast to a finished product, that's the 5-step journey of how pretty much everything gets made. It's this incredible system built on prediction, design, and a never-ending hunt for efficiency. The next time you pick up, well, anything, you'll have a sense of the amazing orchestration that brought it to you. Which really just leaves one question. If you look at your own daily work, what waste could you eliminate?